Hey Ben, hope you're having a great Saturday today. Here's your video lesson, 3 things I want to talk about. I'll go down that list. If you have questions at the end or want me to look at anything, feel free to send an email over or a video, and I'll watch it when I get a second, and I'll send over my 2 cents. Let's get to it. So thanks so much for sending that video over. It was very helpful for me to see where you are right now, and that was exactly what I wanted. It's actually sounding quite nice. The way you were just able to switch between all those cage chords, really you have to have this stuff. Not just like, oh yeah, I know it, like I know it's there. Like in the heat of the moment when you're jamming with buddies, you're not gonna have time to think about any of these things. You have to work them into your playing so many, so you have to work it into your playing so well that you just know where these things are. And then really the only way to kind of do that is just doing a bunch of songs in different keys, and eventually it's like how like this, you don't have to think of playing these anymore, right? The same thing happens with the other voicings, and then you pick out the ones that you like. And I have a feeling that you and G are going to be just good friends by the end of all this. So right now it looks like you guys are frenemies, which is good though. If you aren't experiencing things like that in your practice or in your playing, then you're just not getting any better, right? If everything was like, hunky-dory and like everything was super easy to play and you weren't struggling with anything, you would not be getting any better, right? It's like it's when I'm struggling to play something and I'm working at it, that's when I'm making headway. The people who don't struggle, or they're just happy playing chords down. You've got these down, maybe a couple bar chords, and they're just happy, right? But that is not us, right? Remember, we're trying to push forward, and that's very good that you're struggling like that. It shows that you are making progress, so very good. Now, I'd like to read something to you. I'm not going to read your whole lesson, but I want to read this to you. This is about Caged. Let's see here. This is in the book that I kind of follow, don't worry if this chord voicing, i.e. the way to play the chord, right? The voicing of that G. Oh my God, look, see, I played this so many times, I just know how that shape just feels, right? Let's see here. So don't worry if this chord voicing, the way to play the chord, initially feels awkward to play. It's important to understand how the chords are formed, but you'll soon see the real magic of Cage lies in the smaller chord voicings that exist inside the bigger shapes. Now that you've done the hard work of like trying to like where are these chords, can you switch with them in time and do your darndest to do that? Now it is time to, let's see here, is to talk about the magic of Cage, right? Cage, what keeps people from like kind of using it in their playing is the step that you just went through is a pretty big step, right? That's why I saved just like E and A form for the longest time, because those are the easiest ones to do. And then when a player like you who's already done those and just needs a little help identifying the names of them, really, like you don't need help playing the A form necessarily, you just need to know the system just to connect them all together. The magic ain't in playing this, right? No one plays this in a rock song. Or like say C form, like I can, the players who do that are like the John Frusciantes of the world, who are actually highly trained guitarists, even though he wouldn't let you know, just by looking at him or by the way he talks. Oops, sorry, what's doing? Anyway, I was playing the other night. Turned me in a little too much. So, there it is. So. No one goes around playing the G form like this, right? In rock situations, right? John Denver actually does it. I think I mentioned he does something like this in like Rocky Mountain High. I can't remember which key that is, but he plays that chord voicing. John Frusciante plays that C form in Under the Bridge. So you do see these chords, but they're not in the way that you think that they're playing them. They have the big shape, right? So the master shape, you know where the root note is, you can play the master shape well enough. There's the song, you might not know it, but it's Big Empty by Stone Temple Pilots. The era that I grew up in, and in that song, he does that in the chorus. He's playing G form up the neck, but he's just doing everything but the bar. So the magic of using these things is not the big shape, but it's stuff like this. Say Hammer to Fall by Queen, right? That's using C form. If you look right here, he has using A and C form. He has an A chord here, he's playing this. He is not playing the big chunky A, he is playing a partial A. He's he's already playing on strings 4, 3, 2. And then he goes to a C form. And he's doing strings 4, 3, 2. Right? So he's not doing this, he's just doing a little piece of it. Moves up here, he knows he's playing an E chord, but he's just playing a little part of it. So the magic of these things is not in the big chunky chord, but just knowing what the chord it is and then subtracting the things out that you don't want to play in it. Or the making it like really difficult to fret. The place to start with this is partial chords, level 1, I call my level 1, strings 4, 3, and 2. So you can go back to those D form chords, or sorry, not D form, the cage chords in D, and instead of playing this big shape here, you're going to subtract out the 5th string, and the 6th string, the 5th string, and then the 1st string. You're going to play the 6th string in D form, or C form, that's okay. So we have this shape right here. So instead of playing this big shape, I'm going to play strings 4, 3, 2, and subtract out everything but the strings 4, 3, 2. So here's the big shape, here's the smaller shape. That way I'm playing. Right? So I have my C form like that, then I go up the neck. Instead of playing the big chunky shape like this, I'm going to play on strings 4, 3, 2, just the ring finger notes. Right? So I have this now. And then go up the neck, C, A, G. Hey, wait one second. Instead of doing this big shape right here, I'm just going to strings 4, 3, 2. Wait a second. All it is, hey, on strings 4, 3, 2, you don't have to put this big shape down. You're just playing. It's actually one of the easiest ones to play, and it's connected to the A form. So in A form, it's like this, and then in G form, I just get rid of this stuff right here. It's just that. I go up to E form. Anything I don't need, I'll just string the other strings. Oh, it's easier to fret that way. I'm fretting the string 3, 2, 1. So there's the big chord. So C form. Then I go here. Instead of doing that, I just put a bar here because it's the same thing. G and A form share those common notes, so I'm not going to bother doing all this. Then I'm going to go to E form. Instead of here, I'm going to fret it here. It's the same notes. Oh, on strings 4, 3, 2, there's really just 3 shapes. I have here. 3 useful shapes, that is, on strings 4, 3. That's a lot easier to remember. And now I know where they're coming from, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to pause right there because I have more to talk about. Points 2 and 3. Kind of ran out of time in this half hour. What I'll do, I have a little bit of a break, and then a little bit what I'll do is I'll finish up this video. So I'm going to pick up here at point number 2 for the second part of this video. All right, I'll be back in a minute.